to the best of my knowledge, it's the first published study of empirical data from this group. So there have been anecdotal reports in the media. In fact, there's been quite a lot written about this in the lay press. New York Times have had articles about it on contractors working in war zones, but no one's really been able to do a study looking at things like post-traumatic stress disorder, major depression, substance abuse, issues like that in this particular group. So to the best of my knowledge, this is the first report within an academic journal trying to tease out some of these issues. It's a study on the psychological well-being of contractors who've been working in war zones, really zones of conflict. And the impetus for the study came from press reports that contractors currently employed in places like Iraq and Afghanistan were under enormous pressure, very dangerous environments, and there was a question mark about how they were coping with these dangers from a psychological perspective. So that became the impetus for the study. The first thing is it's a very difficult group to study because the big organizations who employ them don't open up their books to researchers. So given the nature of their work and the fact that they are often dealing with security matters, there's an element of secrecy or confidentiality surrounding what they do. So to find a group of contractors to study was a challenge. Some of that other work has been done. I mean, earlier research done by my team over here, I've looked at journalists, for example, who work in combat zones. In fact, we've been doing this work for the past 9 years. And in fact, the contractor study buys into the methodology that we used for the journalist study. So we kind of took the same methods that we've used to study war correspondents, war journalists, and we kind of merged it or modified it slightly so that we could look at the contractor group. One does research hopefully with the purpose of changing the lives of people. So it does not, I hope it doesn't just remain one of these academic findings that lies in a journal. But now that it's out there in the public domain, hopefully the organizations who employ contractors will read about it, will understand that this is a group who, in addition to doing dangerous work, often pays a high price for doing this kind of work. And my hope is that they would put into place some mechanism to help them in terms of therapy, providing access to physicians. Because what our data showed is that this is a group who comes back from a combat zone and is very much left to their own resources. The kinds of assistance that they do require, and they do need this because their rates of post-traumatic stress disorder symptomatology, depressive symptomatology is actually high. This is a group that does need assistance when they come back from a war zone. And our data show that only in about 10% of cases is that assistance available to them. So my hope is that empirical data can lead to change in policy and more people can get assistance.